All right, let's get into it. What we're about to unpack, I mean, it sounds like something straight out of a sci-fi movie, but this is real. It's happening right now. And it all kicks off with some really, really strange glitches.
Imagine you're just sitting there, looking at a flight tracker on your phone, and you see a plane just teleport. Literally, 1 second it's in one country, the next it's hundreds of miles away.
Or how about this? Giant cargo ships, these massive vessels, suddenly showing up on a map in the middle of the desert. I mean, ships that belong on the ocean.
And then it gets personal. Your car, let's say in Tesla in Dubai, starts telling you it's parked miles and miles away, even though you're standing right next to it.
So what in the world is going on? Is this just some massive worldwide software bug? A series of crazy glitches? Or is it something else? Are we actually looking at a new kind of invisible weapon?
Well, to figure that out, we need to head to the Middle East. For months now, it's like there's been this ghost in the machine, and it's been causing absolute chaos. It started small. People in Dubai noticed their Google Maps were just off. But it turned out to be so much bigger than that.
And the reports that started flooding in were just wild. But they were all consistent. Ride-sharing apps, delivery apps, totally useless. Their drivers were completely lost. Then you look at the flight radars. An Emirates flight from Madrid just glitches out the second it crosses into UAE airspace. Another one, from Sharjah to Egypt, is seen flying this impossible zigzag pattern. And it's not just in the air. You've got maritime trackers showing massive ships way out in the desert on the UAE-Saudi border. And then get this, near the coast of Iran, ships start appearing on land, arranged in a perfect circle. A perfect circle. I mean, that's just physically impossible. So you start to realize, yeah, this is no accident.
And then, after all this confusion, the pieces of the puzzle start to click into place. People noticed that these so-called glitches were happening at the exact same time as missile and drone strikes in the area. And that's when it hits you. This isn't a bug. It's a feature of modern warfare. What we were seeing was the widespread use of anti-GPS technology not for attack, but as a defense.
And what's so fascinating about this is how the whole strategy has been turned on its head. If you go back to the 1991 Gulf War, GPS was this revolutionary offensive weapon, right? The US had it, their opponents didn't. They could navigate the desert with insane accuracy while everyone else was basically blind. But today, the script is totally flipped. In a world where practically every drone, every smart missile depends on GPS, the new weapon is anti-GPS. It's a defensive shield designed to make those incoming threats get lost.
Okay, so to really get how this weapon works, we need to do a quick crash course on how your phone even knows where you are. It all comes down to this really elegant, simple idea called trilateration.
All right, here's how it works. A satellite way up in space sends out a signal with a super precise timestamp. Your phone picks it up and figures out exactly how long that signal took to travel. That gives you your distance from that one satellite. So now you know you're somewhere on the edge of this huge circle. But that circle could be the size of a country, right? So you need a second satellite. It does the same thing, creates its own circle. And where those two circles overlap, well, that narrows it down to just two possible spots. So we're getting warmer. And that's where the third satellite comes in. Its circle intersects with the other two at one single point. And boom, that's you. That's your exact location.
But here's the catch. Here's the weak link in the whole system. That signal has to travel over 20,000 kilometers, all the way from space. By the time it gets to your phone, it's incredibly faint. I mean, it's basically a whisper. And because it's so weak, it's shockingly easy for a much stronger signal from right here on the ground to just shout over it. And that's it. That's the vulnerability that makes all of these anti-GPS attacks possible.
So, when it comes to attacking GPS, there are basically two flavors. You've got the brute force method, and you've got the sneaky, deceptive one. Let's break them both down.
First up is jamming. This is the brute force attack. Think of it like this. A transmitter on the ground just starts blasting out a bunch of static, a bunch of powerful radio noise on the exact same frequency as the real GPS signal. It's like trying to listen to a friend whisper while someone is screaming into a megaphone right next to you. You can't hear anything. Your GPS gets blinded and it just stops working. Now spoofing is much more clever. It's the deception. Instead of just noise, the spoofer broadcasts a fake GPS signal. But here's the thing, it looks totally legitimate and it's stronger than the real one. So your device doesn't go blind, it gets tricked. It's like asking for directions and someone confidently tells you to turn left when you should have gone right. Your GPS thinks it's working perfectly, it just shows you in the completely wrong place.
So yeah, spoofing is a pretty smart way to send an enemy drone off into the middle of nowhere. But, and this is a big but, this military tactic has some seriously scary consequences for all of us. Because the truth is, our entire modern world is basically built on a foundation of GPS. We depend on it for almost everything.
You know, the world really got its first big wake-up call about just how dangerous this could be way back in 2011. There was this top-secret American stealth drone, the RQ-170 Sentinel, flying a mission over Iran. Well, Iran used GPS spoofing to hijack its navigation system. They fed it fake coordinates, tricking the drone into thinking it was heading home to its base in Afghanistan. And what happened? The drone made a perfect landing, but it was deep inside Iranian territory. It was captured completely intact. It was just this jaw-dropping demonstration of how powerful this technology really is.
And when you think about it, the stakes for us, for civilians, are just massive. In aviation, a pilot could get spoofed and fly right into a mountain without any warning. In shipping, a massive container ship could just run aground. But the danger goes way beyond just transportation. It gets into the very fabric of our society. Things we never even think about, like emergency services, the stock market, our power grids. All of them rely on the super precise time signal that comes from GPS satellites just to work.
Take the financial markets. You've got automated trading bots making millions of trades in the blink of an eye. Every single one of those trades gets a timestamp from a GPS signal. If a spoofer throws that timing off by even a tiny fraction of a second, just 1 millisecond, the entire system could fall apart. You could literally trigger a global market crash.
So, where does this leave us? Well, just like the Gulf War showed the world what GPS could do as a weapon, the conflicts we're seeing today are showing us the next chapter: anti-GPS. What we're really watching is a fundamental shift in what warfare even looks like.
The key takeaway here is pretty profound. The battlefields of the future, they might not be about who has the most tanks or soldiers. They might be about who controls the signals, the electromagnetic spectrum. The next world war might not be fought with bombs and bullets, but with invisible radio waves, with manipulated data.
And that leaves us with one heck of a question, doesn't it? We've built this entire, amazing, complex global society that depends on these invisible signals from space. So you have to ask, what happens when we can't trust those signals anymore?